That is the most epic way you can peel an orange. Looks like an elephant. I love elephants. Okay guys, so let's go straight into it. Today I'm going to be giving you 10 tips on how you can get the most out of your DJI SPARK and how to get that beautiful cinematic shots that we're all after. So tip number 1, when you first set up your DJI SPARK, your gimbal speed will be set to 50%. Now I strongly recommend you turn that down to at least 5 or even lower. You want to make sure that your gimbal is moving slowly to get that nice cinematic feel. So yeah, turn that down. That is tip number 1. Tip number 2 is to take your time to figure out what you want to film when you're in the sky. So before you actually take your drone up, really think about the shots you want to get. Do you want to be moving your drone back to be revealing the shot? Do you want to be moving it forward? Do you want to be moving it to the side? Do you want to be going up and down? This DJI SPARK only has 15 minutes of flight time, so you want to make sure you are spending every minute getting quality footage. Okay, tip number 3. Make sure you set your camera to manual exposure, because when you're flying an auto, light conditions are always changing and your exposure will be going up and down, and when you take that footage to edit, you're going to have a really tough time. So make sure you set your camera to manual exposure. Tip number 4, slow and steady always wins the race. Literally, I'm not even joking, some of my favourite shots I have filmed is when I've just got some slow movements of the drone. I try to retract and not use sports mode too often. Keep it slow. Tip number 5, try some new things. For me, I tried something new and it really paid off. I took my drone and I flew it really low to the ground and I just pulled back when this wave was coming towards me. And I think it looks pretty cool. I'm really happy with it. Like, this is what we do as filmmakers. We're meant to continuously try new things to portray different objects in different ways through our footage. This is our art form. We need to look after it. We need to forever be growing and changing it. That's probably the most important tip so far, is to just try out new things. So number 6, you now have badass footage and it's now time to take it to the computer and edit it. Now remember, the DJI only shoots in one picture profile, and that picture profile isn't brilliant, to be fair. It's really saturated, it has high contrast, and it's really tough to get them details and our shades. But today I'm going to show you how we can edit that and make it look really good. Right, let's go. Okay, so now you have your footage on Premiere Pro in your projects file. The first thing you're going to want to do is highlight all of your footage, control click, go down to modify, interpret footage, assume this frame rate, and you're going to be turning this 29.97 frames into 24 frames per second. This is what we want to be using today. Right, cool, so you've now interpreted your footage into 24 frames. Like I mentioned earlier, I like them pullback shots, so you can start to put things into frame. So I'm going to edit this here, wait for the movement. Okay, so around there, I start moving, pull that back, pull that back, pull that back, pull that back, and then there, just before I pan off, take that out and drag that into my timeline. Next thing is you want your adjustment layer. If you don't know how to get that, you control click, new item, adjustment layer, and okay. And then as you can see, you have your adjustment layer. You're going to drag that and just drop that over your footage, like so. So you're going to go to effects and type in Lumetri colors. If I can spell Lumetri. It's normally at the bottom. There she is, Lumetri color. I don't know how to pronounce that. Is it Lumetri? Make sure that's highlighted and go to effects controls. Now I always think there's too much contrast in the DJI's picture profile. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to basic correction just here and bring down that contrast. And already just bringing that down to about 25, tiny bit more, 20. Already it looks a bit better already. Just take away them blacks and just gets a bit more detail back in a shot. Now you want to go to your curves a bit further down and just apply that S. So you want to punch them whites in. See them whites up here? You want to punch them in and you want to bring down these darks. But you don't want to be losing detail in the black. So just bring it down. That's it, cool. And then you want to go down here, push this up. Cool, right. Now, probably should have done this first, but I want to go into white balance. You could either white balance select, and you want to click the whitest part of the whites in your image, and it does like an auto. Click that, and that should set your white balance. If you want to do it manually, you go down here, and you could either go right to make it more warm, or left to make it more cold. Again, I don't want to make it too warm, so I'm going to bring that down to about minus 21, 22. So cool, that looks pretty cool already. And now, let's just take another bit of footage that I filmed here. Right, so my in and out, drag that over. Now remember, when you do make your grade, you can just drag the adjustment layer onto your new footage. However, sometimes it doesn't work. I think we can work on that a bit more. So we drag that over, again, cut that, and just line them up there. And now this time, we can work from what we've already got. Now this, I want to bring down the blacks a bit more, because we want to put detail in them waves. So you see that, bringing that detail in? That looks lovely. So you want to bring that down until you got a bit of detail in them waves. It's all about just matching up your footage. So you go to the previous shot, then you go to the next shot, and you just see what works. And I think just bring that down, looks quite nice. I'm going to be bringing these highlights to about 6. Just want to punch them in slightly. Cool. But yeah, you just want to make sure that it's just nice and balanced, you know. Also, another good thing, that if you can see any wobbles in your footage, you can warp stabilize. And it's so simple. All you do is drop that onto your footage, and that would analyze. Watch here, that would be analyzing it. So what it does, it crops in slightly and then adjusts your footage. So if there has been any slight wobbles, that was smoothing it out. And again, you can get that real buttery smooth footage that you're after. Stabilizing, done. So yeah, just smoothing that out. That was nice. Yeah, that was lovely. Okay, so the next thing that you can do is add a letterbox. Now a letterbox is essentially 2 black bars at the top and the bottom of your footage. So I've got a PNG here, which I'm going to drag this on. All you need to do is drag on the bars essentially. So once your letterbox has been applied to it, you can now go into position, and let's just try 450. Push that up, maybe 420, 460. I think that's about right. That looks nice. Just play that through slightly. Yeah. That looks nice. And again for this, it's just testing out different colorings for what works for your style. That's pretty much it, guys. Just play with it until you've got your shots. Use them S-curves, bring up the blacks slightly. Make sure you set your white balances nice, and use that letterbox in to get that cinematic feel. Slow it down to 24 frames per second and use all the following tips before, and you should be getting quality footage. Now I forgot tip number 10. Tip number 10 is to just make sure you're having fun. If you're not having fun, you're not going to get good shots. So just enjoy yourself, take your time, and try out new things. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm going to end the vlog now. I'll catch you in a video soon. Peace!